So I'd like to talk a little bit about butter. What is butter, and why does everybody like it? Butter is when I say that I really mean it because I know a lot of people. If you say, well, you'll talk about butter, and they'll say, yeah, I really like butter, but we have to be careful because it's a lot of fat. It's going to make us have heart problems. And that is probably the furthest thing from the truth if you really research it. You're going to have heart problems if you're eating butter and any kind of animal fat along with the high carbs, highly processed foods. Anything you eat with that diet is going to hurt you because a lot of that stuff is just frankly basically poison. It's a slow poison. If you have too much sugar, of course, you're going to end up with diabetes eventually. You're going to be overweight for one thing. And if you go to the supermarket, you're going to see a lot of butter, a lot of, actually, a lot of highly processed foods, ultra processed foods in the center of the store. You're going to see a lot of that because it's highly profitable. Companies who make that stuff, they'll even put something like heart healthy on it. Well, really, is it really heart healthy? A lot of these studies have been paid for by the food industry, and the pharmaceutical companies love it because it makes you sick, and then they make money too. What I'm doing is I'm just echoing the things that I've been looking into. I'm not a researcher or anything like that. I'm just a regular person that has found that these things, family members, close friends have been sick, and with even deadly sicknesses, and a lot of it's due to unnatural foods or fake foods. So I wanted to do butter today because my daughter gave me this right here. She knows I'm a little nutty, so she bought me this beach towel, and I like it. I thought it would be pretty good for this program. But yeah, I think butter is actually it's been unfairly uh, pointed to as far as heart problems go too. I mean, it's just one of those things that due to um, could be news media. They come out with if you eat too much of this, it's going to kill you, that kind of thing. But the thing is, you have to really know your own body. You have to know what's good for you and what's not. I just wanted to say that if we're naturally made, we're natural, then wouldn't it make sense to eat natural things, not things that have been highly processed, um, things that are unnatural. A lot of people call it frankenfood because it's created by scientists. They want to make these products taste as good as possible, and many of the things they put in there can be addictive. A lot of people think, well, no, food is not addictive, but this type of food with so much sugar and so much fat, they got the perfect balance of sugar and fat and carbohydrates that it makes you feel so good. And it gives you that part of the brain. Can't think of the name right now, but part of the brain that loves this stuff and wants you to go back to it, just like a drug. Butter versus margarine. Margarine is highly processed. It's not real butter. It's made to taste like butter. But if you look at the ingredients, it's very unnatural, very unnatural, and it's very and if you eat that enough, the same as seed oils, things that are highly processed. They make these artificial oils really because they're made by machines. They're made by they have to heat it up and press it and do all these things to it to make it smell all right. Because from what I've heard, you go into one of these factories and it really does stink, but they have to do things to it to make it sellable, to put it on the shelves and make it last. But it can be very inflammatory, so we have to be careful of that. And of course, there's the cholesterol question. What if it raises your cholesterol? Well, really, LDL is there's cholesterol throughout our body, for one thing, and so the body needs cholesterol. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not trying to tell you that don't listen to your doctor because they will tell you that if you have high cholesterol, they want to give you a statin. But you got to look at the other things too. There's other things. That's just one marker. There's triglycerides, which is very important. There's your insulin. If your insulin is high, that's another number. If your insulin is low, if your triglycerides are low, and I'm just a regular old guy trying, letting you know what I've heard from doctors And what I've seen from people, the way they eat and how they look, uh, whether or not they're feeling good, they're healthy. This is just my own experience and my own feelings, so I don't want to push that off on anybody else. Um, but yeah, butter. I'm looking at this chart here. Butter and fat loss. Butter is calorie dense. It's easy to overeat, but it helps satiety. It makes you full, so not want to eat a whole lot. Um, it can slow down fat loss if used heavily. So there are things if you overdo it, of course, it's just like anything. If you overdo it, it's gonna maybe cause you to gain weight, that kind of thing. So on a carnivore diet, you're eating more fat anyway because you're eating probably ribeyes, steaks that have fat in them, and we certainly know that that those are very good and healthy. But at the same time, you have to watch it, But it's a lot easier to lose weight on a carnivore diet because you become fat adapted, so your body starts to burn fat as energy rather than sugar, and so you start to lose the fat that's on your body. And so, yeah, those are some of the positive things about this. A lot of people wonder, well, what about the difference between grass-fed butter and regular butter? Well, grass-fed, as it brings out here, has it's a little more yellow color. It's got slightly more omega-3s and slightly more K2. So you do get vitamins with butter. I love butter. I have two cups of coffee in the morning with butter, and then if I'm going to have another cup, I will just have black coffee. But I wanted to bring those points out because I think they're important to know. What goes in our bodies is very important. We want to make sure that we're healthy, and we want to feel good. And when you're healthy and when you feel good, you feel like doing more. Your mind is also uh, it's not in a fog all the time, so you can concentrate on certain things and just do what you enjoy to do. Because eating is a way we get fed, a way we get fuel. It's also enjoyable. It can be tasty, but we have to realize too that the way things are made today in the stores, there's so much product out there that could be damaging to your health. Not right away, but as you continue to eat that way, it builds up and builds up and builds up. A lot of people think, well, I must have inherited this. Maybe they're obese. Well, maybe I just inherited it because my parents were the same way. Well, did your parents eat the same way? Did they teach you to eat the same way? So just take different things into consideration. But that's pretty much it. I wanted to bring that out. There's a lot of points here. I have this cooking tips here. Butter is it's high heat. It can take high heat, so it's good for cooking. Um, so you can add butter after cooking too. Again, like I say, butter can be addictive, so you got to be careful with having too much. But I don't worry about that because I know I'm eating plenty of fat. I know that once you get fat adapted, like I mentioned, um, you're burning the fat. It's not just continuing to store fat. So, and I wanted to put this up because my daughter gave me that butter beach towel right there. So, yeah, it's a little selfish here on my part because I gotta let her know that I'm using that. So anyway, have a good day.